Aloha, hey, it's Julie Zemelis, 365 Hawaii and 365 Hawaii Group, Keller Williams, Big Island. And we are here today to do the February update of the whole island, or TTT. And we are going to do something a little bit different this time. We are going to start with the money. So we're going to start with our mortgage experts first. That's Marla and Scott Wynn from the Wynn and Eagan team. And then we're going to go into the East Hawaii with Amber Haley, Real Broker. Then we're going to pop over to North Hawaii with Tanya Klett, KW Big Island. And then we're going to pop down to the Waikoloa region with Jana Mahoney, also KW. And then we're going to swing over to Delania with Real Broker. Right? Are you jumped over there yet? EXP? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
And she's going to give you guys the cool look down at what's happening with the neighborhoods. And then Eric and I will kind of give you guys the wrap up of what's happening in the Kona market as well. So let us start with money. So Scott, do you want to jump in there? And then Marla, you're going to talk a little bit about strategies, right? So go for it.
Good. So latest update on mortgage rates. We've actually seen a little bit of a bump up over the last couple of weeks. So nationwide averages, these are, of course, nationwide, lots of different dynamics in different markets, but nationwide, we're sitting at 6.32% for average locked interest rates on 30-year fixed mortgages, 20% down, 740 credit scores. So it is a bit of a bump up over the last couple of weeks. Last week we were at I think 6.12, and we hit a low of like 6.09 2 weeks ago. So starting to increase a little bit for whatever reason, but anticipate that long term we are going to continue to see rates drop. And again, the reason for that is because of how mortgage rates are so closely tied to inflation. Most recent inflation numbers are continuing to drop. So just as an example, in January of 2022, so a year ago, inflation in that month over month increased 0.6%. But last month in January 2023, we increased 0.4. So that means the 0.6 dropped off, the 0.4 drop came on, and that means that inflation has dropped overall by 0.2%. Over that month period. So as we continue to see inflation reduce, we will likely see rates to follow.
Good job. Okay. And then Marla.
Yeah, so I think we talked about buy downs before, and basically I'll just recap super fast. Sellers can subsidize buyers' payments. That's really what it comes down to. They can subsidize for up to 3 years, depending on the program that they're going to use. And one of the things that we're doing for our purchase buyers right now is we're offering them a free refinance if they refinance within 2 years after they make their purchase. So that's up to a $4,000 credit, up to 1% of the loan amount, because we have to have those caps in there. But for an average priced home, it should cover all the closing costs with the exception of like the prepaids, which are going to get refunded by your current escrow or your current loan servicer anyway. So we're doing our best to help our clients get past the interest rate issue, marry the house, date the rate, and then give them, a free refinance when rates do drop.
There we go. And if you are looking to get a mortgage, I will put the information for the Wynn and Eagan team in the comments below for the people who are going to be watching this on YouTube later, which has now gone over to 400 people are watching this every month, which makes us happy. So so even if you can't be here live like the Porters, you can you can get some information, which I'll drop down below. So
sorry to interrupt, but we're licensed in about 30 states. So
yeah. So if you are from anywhere, if you're watching this, that's or you can reach out to these guys and find out if they've reached your state. So Amber, you ready? You're all lit up, looking like you're happy. Let's go for it.
All right, you guys. So Amber Haley here from Real Broker, coming to you from rainy East Hawaii, but I guess it's rainy everywhere right now. All right, so let's talk about the market right now in the Puna district, which is where most of our trading happens. We have we are having less sales still than we had previously. So our average price point right now, median price point is $325 in the Puna district. That includes the riskier lava zones as well. So if you're new to lava zones, land and real estate is less valuable in lava zones 1 and 2. And the Puna district is made up of zones 1, 2, and 3. So the median is sitting at 325, but if you are going to be in a less risky lava zone, so that would be lava zone 3, you're going to be looking at the higher end of the median value. So just a little side note for everybody. And the average days on market in Puna right now is 54 days on market. And that is going to, yes, for the Puna district, sorry. Now I'll switch over to the Hilo district, where the price point is a little higher. The median value is 552.5. And that is going to buy you, oh, sorry, my stats are a little bit all over the place today. 552.5 for the Hilo district. And we will compare that to the previous month where we were at 525 and a year ago, 538. So we have not seen the median home value drop in Hilo. However, in the Puna district, that is where we did see the median home value drop slightly. So we were at 325 from 358 the month before and 345 the year before that. So keeping an eye on median home values right now, because we are at an interesting time in the market where things are changing. As far as buyer tips go, I'm hearing a lot of other markets across the country are kind of going back to a multiple offers and even lower inventory and back into a seller's market again. So I'm keeping an eye on that because I haven't quite seen that yet, but a lot of times we do follow the trend. So if you are thinking about buying and thinking about waiting, now might be a good time to get into the market. I know Marla mentioned, you know, mortgage rates and all of that, but maybe date the rate, marry the house right now might be some really good advice for buyers in East Hawaii, because we do have so many buyers coming into this market because it is still some of the last affordable real estate in Hawaii. All right, so let's see, South Hilo days on market right now on average is 77, which is quite a bit more than the previous month still. So things are sitting on the market. We are at 77 days on market versus 55 the month before and 43 a year ago at this time. So that's the way that things are looking. We will see where the trend takes us, but I do think there's some good opportunity for buyers. I've had a lot of good negotiating power with my buyers. We've gotten some good things negotiated in our contracts. And for those of you wondering how close you need to offer to list price, on final list to sold price right now in Puna is 92.3%. And in Hilo, it is at 94%. That's list to sale price. So most on average are going a little bit under list price.
Okay. I see you have your little buddy behind you.
Yes, sorry. We're here for your entertainment. Circus behind me.
Oh, there you go. So that's good. And then for you personally, you're seeing people, is your phone ringing? I mean, is there a lot of people trying to come into the market and ask you questions about is now a good time to buy?
Yes, I have a lot of buyers who are coming to me right now, and a lot of them are seeming to want to wait 3 to 6 months to buy, and then they're seeing good deals right now and are considering going in a little sooner. And I do think that's a good idea, maybe a good strategy if you find the right house to maybe have a little less competition right now than potentially you will if you wait that 3 to 6 months.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Well, then let's go around the top of the island and go to Tanya, who's going to be talking to us about the Kahala area, and take it away.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Tanya with KW Big Island. So I'm going to start with Hamakua residential. Not a huge amount of activity, only 2 closed in the past month. Average days on market there was 133, and the median sales price was 487.5. So 487,500. List to sales price ratio was 92.95%. Compared to last month was 3 closed, average days on market 9, and average sales price 760. So you can see how that changes. Just it's really dependent on the price point of what closes. Then North Kahala residential, we've had 5 closings in the past month. Average days on market of 46 and median sales price of 890. And the list to sales price ratio there is 96%. So still a decent amount compared to the previous month where we had 7 closed, Average days on market to sale was 71. Average sales price of 840 and list to original sales price was 85. So you can see a bit of a change there. Then Waimea, Waikiki, we've had 2 closed. So again, not a huge amount of activity. Average days on market there was 12. Median sales price of 611 and the list to sales price was 100.4%. So that shows that there has been a little over asking as well, and probably multiple offer situations. And compared to the prior month, which 4 closed and average days on market of 119. And then moving on, what I'd like to do today is spotlight Kahala Ranch a little bit, land in Kahala Ranch. And for those not familiar with it, it's a gated community. There's over 3,500 acres of rolling hills and meadows, and it's a really beautiful location with elevation ranging from about 120 feet to a little over 3,000 feet above sea level. So you have some varied climates and views and terrain that come along with that. And currently there's 32 active listings for sale. Nothing is closed in the last month, and there's 2 currently in escrow. So this is where I think a lot of people have decided that they're not actually going to build. It was the last things to go up in price, and I think it's going to be the last to come down. And people are now offloading and deciding that they have something else in mind for themselves. I am seeing people that have decided with the permitting process, that takes 2 years. And so they've decided they just don't want to wait around, and they'd rather put that into a home that's already built and maybe a little fixing or something along those lines. And then I'm going to plug one of my listings, if I may. I'm one of those 32. I have, it's one of the last almost 180-degree view lots. And it's got gorgeous year-round sunrise, sunset, and mountain views. And it shows Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, and Hualalai. And that's listed for $479. It's 5.03 acres. And what's really great about this last lot is the sellers had actually planned to build their dream home. So fully permitted and approved plans in place and ready to break ground, basically, as soon as you find your contractor. And those plans are available for $45,000. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you. I will say, maybe we'll talk about this a little bit later after our little show here, that the mayor knows the permitting process is very onerous, and he has actually reached out to a variety of housing groups and asked them for their opinion on how they could like unjam the log jam. And so we might hopefully be seeing something. Let's see. So
I've been hearing that a while.
Okay. And I'll tell you a little more why I know that. Okay, so now we're going to Jana Mahoney, KW. Go for it.
Aloha. Okay, so let's start with Waikoloa Village and Manalani Residential. There are 24 active this month. There were 32 last month. Half of those are Manalani, half of them are Waikoloa Village. And the average days on market right now is 67. It was 50 last month. So you kind of see the trend there. We're having, we actually have fewer listings, but the ones that we have been on the market a little bit longer. The average, well, let me go with median. The median price is $1,117,000. That's for a residential property. Now, if you look at the same exact market area, only condos instead of residentials, there are 24 again. There were 25 last month. So the average median or the median price is $1,212,000 for condos. So let's see. Oh, only 3 in Manalani, and all the rest were in Waikoloa Village. But you know, the Manalani always kind of raises the average, right?
Yeah.
So I can tell you while we're on this, I do have a listing there in Manalani right now. It's in the Villages. It's a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath. It's got 40 solar panels, and it actually is very nicely remodeled. Has the maple floors. It's on the net energy metering system, which is nice. It means everything's owned. That's probably a whole topic we could talk about is solar.
Oh yeah.
On the Waikoloa and Manalani condos sold last month, there were 5, and the average list price to sold price was 99.1%. So there's not a whole lot of lowballing going on right now in the condo market. That was kind of interesting. So in the Waikoloa Resort, which is primarily condos, there are 16 active listings. Last month, there were 14. The average days on market now is 85. And also have a listing there. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Waikoloa Beach Villas. Those are really good vacation rentals. It's a really nice condition. The median is $1,195,000 right now. And let's see, what was the days on market last month was 72. So again, days on market is going up. We keep seeing that over and over again. Sold last month, there were 7 in that area, and the average sale price to the current, or the listing price to the sale price was 95%. So a little bit more give in that area. I also ran Mauna Kea, which has 4 active listings. The average days on market is 41, and the average price is $4,242,000. So very nice properties in Mauna Kea area. And in Puako, which is a residential for the most part, I think there's 1 condo association there, but let's see, there's 7 houses for sale now. 2 of those are new. We had 0 sales, and the average days on market is 149 days. So you do see here, the higher the price point is, typically you have more days on market. I think that's pretty normal at any time. So that's what's going on. 0 sold last month in Puako.
Okay, there's a $5 million 4-bedroom house in Puako that's right on the beach. If anybody wants that house, don't forget we're all realtors. So, hey, and also, speaking of Waikoloa, Eric and I are excited to announce a listing that we took recently, and it just went live today. So if anyone is looking for a condo in Waikoloa, it's at the shores of Waikoloa, and it's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and it's $750,000. And it's the HOA fees are really low. It's like $616 because that used to be a developer's condo, and so it's the lowest HOA fees basically like in that whole complex. So if you're looking for something like an investment, it's an STVR right now. It's really successfully set up, and it can also be seen. I'm showing it the March 17th through the 21st because it's so booked up. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll send you guys the MLS number. So with that, we head down to Delania. Delania's going to talk to us about neighborhoods. What's going on that, and whatever Delania is going to talk about is going to basically be what it looks like Kona's doing. So let's hear it.
Yeah, more of the same that we've been seeing. We're going to start out with Pualani Estates. There are currently 2 active listings. They are priced at $865 and $899. One's been on the market 100 days. One's been on 14 days. The one that was on longer has had a price reduction, $53,000 price reduction. Almost everything I'm going to talk about today has had price reduction. So that's kind of the theme right now is drop the price until you sell it. They have 1 under contract right now listed at $918. Last month, there was 1 sale, sold $895. That was the list price, but it was on 147 days. It started at $1,050,000. So they came down quite a bit to finally sell after a while. But looking back since July, August, prices haven't changed. We're hitting right the same marks in that neighborhood. And it's kind of across the board, everything we're looking at. Those 3 areas. The next one is the condominium complex Ali'ilani. There are currently 5 active listings. I'm not including the double one that's 900,000 because that skews everything. So
That's still there, huh?
yeah, it's still, yeah, that's going to be there a while, I think. So 5 normal listings. They're priced between $499 and $565. They've been on between 21 and 114 days. All 5 have had price reductions. There are 3 under contract right now, priced between $420 and $530. And there's 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms in the mix. So that's a little bit of where the price variation is. 2 of those have had price reductions since they've been on the market. 2 sold last month, 1 at $420. It was listed at $425. It was on the market 3 days. Another sold 535. It was listed at 550 on the market for 20 days, and it did have a price reduction. And last neighborhood is Lokahi Makai. There's nothing active currently, but there's 4 under contract. Those are all between 800,000 and 975,000. 2 that have been on the longest have had price reductions. There's 2 sales. One sold for 741, was listed for 759,000. It's on the market 23 days. Another sold after 88 days, sold 899. That was the list price, but that was after price reductions. Both of those had price reductions to get down there. So like I said, almost everything we're seeing is price reductions, but we're still falling in the same list and sales price that we were summer of last year. So we haven't had, spotlighting those 3 neighborhoods. We're not seeing a market crash. We're just seeing a little bit of, but sellers still kind of unsure where to price their properties. So they're reducing, they're getting sales, and then some moving really, really quickly. I have buyers right now that are offering on a property, been on almost 20 days, and all of a sudden now we're in a multiple offer situation there, so it's like, it sat there, it didn't have a reduction. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, that's it, that's the house. And so I think buyers are being a little more hesitant. They're kind of watching and waiting. But I also feel like Amber was saying, you look at other markets and you hear from realtors and, on the mainland, it's like their markets are picking back up. Their buyers are starting to get active. I think mortgage applications are up. So maybe we're turning. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's good input, because I was looking at the hot sheet, which the realtors use as what's coming on, what's coming off, and what the price reductions are. And it does seem that there's more going quickly off the market, and I do see some of those price reductions as well. But I'll tell you guys an interesting story. Eric and I actually bought a house last week. Yay! And we were in a multiple offer situation as well. And same thing, they put it on the market, and just people who've been like just buzzing around looking for something like, with an income potential, they all jumped in on it. And so I think what we're seeing across the board is, if it's a good house, it goes quick. If it's an overpriced house, it sits for a while. But it seems like we are getting more buyers. I've been actually getting more phone calls from people saying, I want to get a mortgage, or hey, I'm thinking about coming in the next few months. And it seems to be ticking up a little bit. And I've been telling some people, like Amber says, is that if you wait until the summer, you're going to be in there with a lot more people, with a lot less inventory. And if you kind of try and jump in just a little bit earlier, you're not going to be fighting. Look, Delania, 3 people on one means you might actually have to bid up. And if you're not competing with somebody, you can actually save the money, get that mortgage that the Wynns are talking about, change your date, and you change your rates later, and you get the house you really like. So I think that's I think it's kind of what we're seeing. Eric, do you want to point into what you've been seeing out there as well? That's Eric's KW.
Yes, that's me. Eric Zine with KW Realty, KW Big Island. I've been seeing just what everybody else, things are slow, a lot of price reductions, and things, if it's priced right, it goes fast, just everything that we've been talking about, doing that. But it was kind of funny that, there are these pockets where, if it's priced right, and there's also been sort of, it seems a little bit of pent up demand for certain things. And if you can find those, when they come on, they're like, oh my gosh, it's like our property was the first property that came on in a month that fit the bill. And I know we weren't alone in that. And that's sort of why we got into a multiple offer situation.
Yeah. And also with the, with this whole thing too, about like the permitting issue that Tanya was talking about, is that a lot of people, I think, are jumping into older homes instead of trying to build fresh. And because at least they can renovate instead of building scratch. And I think that's, like you said, it's kind of changing the market in terms of what's available for open land. And we were going to talk about
and also, just one more thing on the open land is just the cost to build has gone up so high as well. I mean, it's you have the permits that might take 2 years, and then you also have a very high cost to build. I forgot what it was in Kohala Ranch, but it was pretty exorbitant. That you're looking at, to build something reasonable, you're looking at a lot of money.
Yeah, but if people want the views and they want to be able to have, all the stuff that's, beautiful land with beautiful ocean views looking out over the mountains and everything else, it's a dream position for some people. So I'm hoping I'm gonna help you sell that piece of land. One of the things that we talked about too is kind of like in a trend experience, is that we kind of talked about what we think we're seeing is more buyers coming in. But does the general consensus, do you guys want to tap into maybe like a little any more in terms of what you're seeing personally and what's happening with the market? Jana, have you been getting a lot of phone calls from buyers or?
Yeah, I have been showing a lot lately, so that's good news.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think that what you said about if a house is priced right, you're going to get some showings, you're going to get some activity. I think if you've got a house that's probably some sellers still have that idea about what the prices were last year, and that's still in their mind. And I don't know if that's always the case, that you can still get the prices this year that you could get last year, or at least up in Kohala, I think. What do the rest of you guys think about that?
I've been having some seller conversations lately, and that can be a challenge when they say, well, my friends who sold a year and a half or 2 years ago got X amount over asking. Why can't I get that? So I'm still faced with that, having to have those tough conversations and just set the expectation.
Yeah.
For people to be realistic about what they can expect to achieve price-wise.
Also, when I was trying to do the CMA for the condo that we were working with, there's just not a lot that has sold to really push the price home. Just, you know, if you only have 2 or 3 things that have sold over the last year and a half, it still does that. Well, why don't we put it at a certain price and see how it goes? And then, so we'll talk about the price reduction.
And because of that, we've seen a lot of reductions quickly. Right. I mean, they used to sit a long time. Now we're seeing a week and they're like, poof, oh, we dropped it again. You're like, whoa, just because nobody knows where the starting price is. That, I guess that's what we're kind of saying.
Yeah. But look at what happened with Delania's, you know, they finally put a price that people jump in on. So
Well, no, actually, I mean, that one that's multiple offers, it's funny because it didn't have a price reduction. It just took 3 weeks almost for the buyers to show up. And it's kind of Murphy's Law here. I'm sure it happens with your clients where they find a property, they love it, there's been no activity, and all of a sudden, as soon as they want to write an offer, offers pop up. It happens all the time. But I was going to say too, there's a situation too with a lot of people that bought in the last year or two that bought at the higher price point, and a lot of times if they need to sell for whatever reason, there's a small margin where they can, sell and recoup and make it make sense to them. So I think a lot of sellers are stuck in that situation where, if they overpaid a little bit, they're kind of stuck, at a certain price point.
Yeah, that's true. Do we have questions? We have the porters here live and in person. You guys have are you guys seeing price reductions in your market too? Is there multiple offers? What's going on over there?
I don't know that we ever saw multiple offers. Maybe last year there was a little bit of that, but it varied by neighborhood. Probably the same as what you see there. It seems to be slowing down. I haven't seen the mortgage rate reductions that much. What I keep hearing is that the rates have gone up and that slowed things down. I don't know if that's temporary, if that's a trend, but that's kind of what we've been seeing. There was one around the corner from us that we were shocked it was on the market for a month and maybe a month and a half. We actually toured it last week because it was behind our house, but we were surprised at how long it stayed on the market. A year ago, it would have been sold in a week or 2.
Oh, okay. So yeah, buyers still seem to be like hovering. So that's when we go back to the whole thing about, don't wait too long, because I think the buyers are going to come out.
Yeah, and getting back to what Delania was talking about, that they're waiting 20 days and then having multiple offers. The answer is if you see a house and you like it, quickly put the offer in. Don't think, oh, I've got an extra week or so, because you never know. That's the thing. And if you dilly-dally around, it could bite you, and then that would be sad.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about too is I think, we've all gotten so used to the crazy market from the last 3 years. This is more like a normal market. Like, it didn't used to be unusual for properties to sit a little longer. Like, didn't mean there's something wrong with the property. It was kind of the normal ebb and flow of the market. But we were all in that mindset of just the frenzy of, it's got to sell, multiple offers, first day over asking. And that does happen. But I think in a normal market, this is, it's not unusual to just have a little bit slower of a pace. rates. So
And
not
yeah,
used to it.
Yeah, that's just actually good for buyers too, because then they can go back and look at a house
Yes,
a couple times.
they can think about
They can
it
look
and
at
not, yeah,
and not having to throw money at it immediately too.
yeah. Yeah.
So, and also a question for everyone. Are you guys seeing people coming to the island to look for homes, or are you guys still doing FaceTimes? I mean, I seem to have some people saying that they're here on vacation for like a month looking for homes. Are you guys kind of seeing some of that?
I'm seeing a mix. I'm doing a lot of FaceTime showings, and if it makes a short list, then people are flying out. So that's what I'm experiencing more of. And then if people are really, you know, they dedicated to buying within a certain period of time, then I'm seeing them come out as well.
Okay.
I'm still seeing it, and I'm still seeing people with the intention of completely buying virtually without ever coming to the island at all, which I wasn't sure if that, you know, if that would go away at some point, but that might just be the world that we live in now. I'm also seeing, just to reemphasize what some of you guys said, Tanya was setting expectations. That's really good advice. And if you're watching this, to maybe have those expectations set for you. And then Delania with your Murphy's Law, I think that's what you said, with a property sitting on the market 20 days and then getting multiple offers. I'm kind of seeing that too. I will say I'm seeing a lot more of buyers and sellers kind of digging in their heels because they have different expectations right now. A lot of the sellers I'm seeing are still overpricing, and then just kind of, you know, they'll do the price reduction eventually, and then the buyer's still wanting to get the deal, and then just not quite being able to meet. So I've been doing a lot more back and forth than I've done in a couple of years of that. So yeah, have your expectations in check if you can. That will help you have a smoother process.
Yeah. So I'm wondering too, if I saw a house on the market for 3 weeks, it's like blood in the water, right? I'm going to think maybe I can go in there and get that seller to give me a discount. So I don't know if that's what happened with you, Delania, but it's almost like people are knowing that, oh, here comes one. Is it going to drop its price? Oh, it's been there for 3 weeks. Let's go in. Because I mean, wouldn't you, that was some of your buyers?
Yeah, it's just weird timing. They had seen it a couple of weeks ago, and we looked at some other properties, and then they were like, you know, we think we want to make an offer on that one, because buyers are being a little choosier and they're taking their time. They're not rushing. And so of course I reached out and said, you know, what's the situation? What's the status? And they're like, oh, we got an offer yesterday. So it's like, okay, now we're at highest and best. And, you know, it happens. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah, that goes with the same thing when you're about to go on vacation, you get, you know, the listing of the buyer. So, okay. So, it's anything else happening? Let's say, you know, it's February. So we're looking at maybe this is basically the end, almost near the end of what normally Hawaii has as the snowbirds coming in for the holidays and through January. And now we're heading towards the end of February. So we're not seeing some crazy, like all of a sudden everyone came to Hawaii Island and decided to buy a house. I mean, I think it follows what's happening with America in general, is that people are kind of either waiting because they're waiting for rates, or people have bought their houses and they're sitting on them. So it'll be interesting to see as we head further into the deep spring market, if we start to see some movement, because usually on the mainland, people start buying houses in April, May, because they're thinking about moving during the summer months. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how we end up. So hopefully the rates, you know, as we continue, and I know these guys always say the rates have nothing to do with the mortgage, but you know, we follow along. But if you guys have more questions and you guys want to reach out to any of our area experts, please contact me directly, or you can reach out to them. They're, you know, I'll put information on for everybody. And know that we're very, very glad and happy to be able to bring you guys an island-wide experience. I think we're the only ones doing it, which makes you guys who are watching this get an understanding about what's happening with the entire island. And if you'd like to join us in our ohana and be on this call and get the Zoom link, please go to our website, 365hawaiiliving.com, and join the ohana, or send me an email, julie@zoomlist.com, and I will make sure that you get on our real estate list, which gives you guys access to the Zoom link every month. So with that, we will say, if you want to hear Lance talk about the West Hawaii market, that's also on our YouTube channel. You guys can go back to that. And then also we do these every month. First month of the month is Lance doing West Hawaii specifically, and then Amber does East Hawaii specifically. And then we have this one. So it's all right there on the YouTube channel. You guys tune on in. So thanks to all of our wonderful realtors and mortgage partners. And we will see you guys in March. And Hui ho.
Aloha.
Uh,
Aloha.